Mike talked about how you have to kind of think down the road.
Yeah.
Like with salary cap, with contracts coming, each guy's in a different year of his contract, especially the rookies. How far down the road do you have to? How much of 2023 and 24 are you in right now?
You're always thinking of that. But at the same time, your focus is on the here and now and what's right in front of us. And so as we start camp, the only thought is how do we put the best team together possibly for the 2022 Bengals to win the Super Bowl. And so that's really our focus right now. In the off season, yes, you're running future models and you're trying to fit together the best pieces you can long term with your football team. But things change and it's hard to predict the future a lot. But we think about the future. But right now we're in the here and now, and we want to have the best football team we can this year.
As Zach said, he can't predict. Jesse will get here when he gets here.
Right.
Could be this week. Could be right for the beginning of the season. How does that affect the contract negotiation?
Well, we trust Jesse's going to be in shape. That's just who Jesse is, and Jesse will be ready to go. We have high hopes to have a great year together with Jesse again, and to be right back where we were with him. We tried for a couple of years. It didn't come together. There's no hard feelings there. It's got to work for us, and it has to work for him. And sometimes things don't come together. Maybe there'll be a chance in the future that something comes together in a way that we all feel good about. But at this point, we're focused on having the best possible year we can, and Jesse's a part of that and a big part of it. We've got nothing but love for Jesse. He is a success story. He's a draft choice here that's developed and become an outstanding football player. I don't have any information on that, so I don't know. I do anticipate wherever Jesse is, he'll be ready to go at a moment's notice. So that's who he is.
How do you balance, scouting future players, but also scouting within the league to maybe see somebody that you might want to bring along and add to your talent pool and maybe work in your system that might not be working in your system?
We're always looking for opportunities that are out there. You can find players that you really like that there's no opportunity for you to have. They're under contract or whatever. But we're always looking for guys that are available that could fit a niche for us. We're getting our main players through the draft and we're developing them. That's the way we're getting our main guys. But we're always looking for opportunities to improve with guys who are on other teams, guys whose contracts are up, or guys who might have been let go because they just didn't fit what was going on there. But we're looking for the best 53 active players and the best 16 practice squad guys. And guess what? Every one of them has to be ready to play at a moment's notice. That's just today's NFL. So we don't have guys around here that we don't believe in that can step in a game and help us.
Duke, when you see you've got wide receivers coming up, quarterbacks coming up, every position, there's a contract that's going to expire. When you look at other teams, other huge signings in the league, whether it's Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson or whatever, how much does that set the market automatically, and how much does that influence what you guys are going to have to do to get your guys?
Yeah, well, we're not ostriches. We don't stick our head in the sand and ignore what happens. Things happen around the league, and it affects the rest of the league for sure. And so we're aware of those things. We just have to always keep in mind what's best for our football team to try to get as many good players as we can and try to keep as many good players as we can. We like the fact that our players are earning great big contracts. We love it, and we'd love to be the team giving them the great big contracts. And so how do we fit it all together? But right now our singular focus is how do we put together the best football team this year. And we're at 87 players right now. We got 3 more swings at it. Maybe we'll add a guy or two, and maybe they'll have a factor for us. We'll see. I don't know. But our focus is narrow as we start training camp. It's about having the best season this year. And then the off season next year will take care of itself, and we'll worry about that then.
You've attracted some big name free agents, maybe not even big name, but guys that fit perfectly into your system, that had success with playoff type teams, championship teams. It looks like that's evolved the last couple of years. Have you noticed that this has become more of a destination for NFL players?
Yeah, I think people see us and recognize us as a contender, which is what we believe we are. We've always believed that. We are a contender, and so that helps the process. the money has to line up. I mean, if the money doesn't line up, it doesn't matter. So the money also has to line up when you're talking to free agents. But there's a vision that our coaches and our players have sold, that where we're heading and how we go about our business, and this is a great place to come play football. And guys have bought into that, and now the work begins, particularly with our new offensive linemen who have come in. The work, they've got to come together as a group and play as one, and they haven't played together before, so it'll be fun to see them evolve and become kind of one unit.
Two of those O-linemen are on PUP to begin the season. You'd like to get them to gel as quickly as possible. How serious are those injuries, and how big of a concern?
We anticipate having them back, that very quickly. So that's the anticipation, and we'll see how they look when they get here tomorrow.
The wide receiver market this offseason just absolutely exploded. You got guys making close to $30 million a year. So when you have T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, is this something you ever could have foreseen, and what do you think about when you have those guys coming?
All things we're aware of, and we also are aware we have a lot of really talented wideouts, and so we want them to earn big contracts. We want them to be great football players, and they're in the process of doing that. And when that bridge comes, we're going to have to cross it, and we're going to have to find ways to keep our best players. And again, it's not the here and now, but it's on the horizon. But the here and now, and where our focus is on how do we have the best season this season, and that's kind of what we're focused on now.
How much does that affect who you draft?
We take the best guys. If there's a premier guy at a position where we already have one, we'll take one. We'll take him if he's that much better than the rest of the guys on the board. We don't turn down guys just to take a position. We'll take the best player available, and then if all things are equal, we'll choose the position that might be of need for us at that moment or in the future. But it doesn't always line up that way. And probably the best example of that was when we selected Andrew Whitworth. There wasn't an immediate need. He was just, in our opinion, the one guy that stuck out that he's by far the best player left, and we're going to take him. He plays a valuable position, and we're going to take him. And guess what? It was a great pick. And that's kind of our philosophy in the draft room. Why would we turn down a guy that we have strong belief is going to be a great player at a very premium position just because we already have one? So that's the way we've approached it, and it's worked out in a lot of instances.
It's like Osai has the green light, injury-wise.
He does, yeah. We'll work him back in, and the coaches will be cognizant of the fact that he's been out for quite a while. So we'll work him back in at his speed, and hopefully he'll show what he showed down in Tampa last year. He was going to be Bruce Smith there for a very short period of time. So maybe that'll evolve.
Are you eager to see him in camp and
really eager? Yeah, obviously really eager. Because we had very high hopes for him. It's hard when a young player gets hurt and misses a season, and we had two draftees last year that had to do that, and so it'll be fun to see them, kind of go through their rookie year now.
If everyone needs offensive linemen, how much can you reveal about, like Karras would have been coveted by a number of teams.
Right.
How that goes with competing against someone else, and how you get it.
Well, you try to sell yourself. You try to gauge the market. You obviously have to be competitive with your bids, and you sell your team and the fit and the culture that you have, and then when the whistle blows, if there's questions or the guys can reach out to current players and so forth, sometimes that helps too. It's about selling who you are, but the money has to fit. The money has to be on point at the start of this thing, and we did a good job of kind of gauging that and getting guys to sign up at different periods of the process.
Has Joe Burrow had an effect on that?
Well, I think Joe Burrow has an effect on everything. I think people recognize him as a guy that they would like to play with and around and be a part of, and that's why we drafted him. We recognized him as that too. We're like, hey, that's a guy that we'd like to be around and play with and have on our football team. And so just because we saw it, other people see the same thing, and so it's been great, and it's nice to have players that are recognized.
The There aren't a lot of open starting spots, but left guard is one. How do you feel about those candidates and Frank's ability to get?
Yeah, it'll be a process to find the 5 best and get them playing as one. And we think we've got pretty talented guys that'll be competing, and it'll be good when the group of 5 actually solidifies and kind of gets confidence in each other. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to make any predictions. I think it is what it is, and we'll see who's the best 5, to start the season. But I know one thing: you're going to need more than 5 as the year goes on. You never only get through with 5. You're going to need 6, 7, 8, 9, and 2 practice squad guys that are ready to play at a moment's notice.
You must feel pretty good going into this season, considering where you went and the pieces you've added, would signify, at least from the outside, this team is even better than it was last year. Do you feel that way?
We're always trying to improve. If you don't feel like you're better than last year, you're probably worse than you were. And so it's hard to stay the same. And so you have to, in your mind, make improvements to whether you're the Super Bowl champion or you're the last in the division. You have to make improvements. And we felt like we did that this year. We felt like we added guys that will make a big improvement on our football team. And they got to come together and do it. We have to have fortune, and we've got to gel as a team. The unit that we had last year was a one-team unit. It was just fantastic the way our players came together, played for each other, and played for the love of football. And when you get that, it's special. It doesn't always come back, so we've got to work to get that back. All right, guys.
Thanks, Duke.
You bet.